Hey everyone, it's been a while. I know life has been really, really busy lately, and frankly not getting any easier at some points, but getting just harder. Spiritual attacks and spiritual warfare and everything like that. My freaking hair is crazy. And I just kind of wanted to go over this word that the Lord has been showing me in my heart. I've got my notebook and my Bible because it's kind of a hefty word, and it's in 1 Kings 17, and we're going to start in verse 9. But the title of the message is God is sending you your Elijah, and then I'm going to read 1 Kings 17, just to kind of give you a backstory of what I'm talking about, because in all honesty, I think that this is one of the more important stories for this time right now, because this time right now is really hard on a lot of people. Of course, we know that in America, at least, and that we've gotten a lot of coronavirus relief funds and all that kind of stuff, but they seem to kind of fall out of favor as people are starting to get out on their feet, and starting to try to get caught back up again, because it took a second to get implemented for some. And I just wanted to go over this and read this for you guys, and just kind of give you a backstory of what I'm talking about. Okay, so in verse 9, it says, "Arise, go thee to Zarephath, which belongs to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain you." So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, the widow woman was there, gathering sticks. And he called to her, and said, "Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, so that I may drink." And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her, and said, "Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand." And she said, "As the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, so that I may go and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die." And Elijah said unto her, "Fear not, and go and do as you were, but make me a little cake first, and bring it to me. And after that, make the food for yourself and your son." I'm reading King James Version, and so I'm trying to take the these and thous out as best as I can. "For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth." We're going to hit on all this whenever I get back, because the Lord has really been revealing something to me. Verse 15, "And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord which he spake by Elijah. And it came to pass after these things that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick. And his sickness was so sore that there was no more breath in him, so he had died." He'd gotten really sick, and he had died. Verse 18, "And she said unto Elijah, What have I to do with thee, O thou man of God?" And she's asking a question, what am I going to do? Like, he's dead. "Are you not, did you not come unto me to call to my sin to remembrance, and slay my son?" She's basically saying, like, did you just come here to show me, like, what the Lord can do, and then take it all away from me by killing my son? And he said to her, "Give me your son." And he took him out of her bosom, and carried him up to the loft where he slept, and laid him on his own bed. And he cried unto the Lord, and said, "O Lord my God, have you brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourned by slaying her son?" So who he stayed with, and then he's also like, why did this happen? And he stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, I pray thee, let this child's soul come into him again. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came into him again, and he revived. And Elijah took the child and brought him down out of the chamber into the house, and delivered him into his mother. And Elijah said, See, thy son lives. And the woman said to Elijah, Now by this I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in thy mouth is true. So, quite a few things to go over. The first thing is that we see before this, just a little backstory before that whole story, we see that there's a drought in the land. Now, in 1 Kings 17, Elijah's the one who calls the drought on the land because the Lord told him to. He said, and then we see that there's a drought in the land. The woman is obviously preparing to eat her last meal with her son, and she's preparing to die. She knows she has nothing left, and she's preparing to die. And some of us are kind of at that moment where we're saying, Lord, I don't have anything left. I'm prepared to die. I'm prepared to give up. And it's a scary thing. Then comes Elijah, who was sent to help them, obviously. But all we see at first we see her struggle. What she's doing is gathering sticks to eat her last meal. And then we see him ask for food and water. And we don't really get any backstory of kind of what's going on to its fullness. But before this, and I wrote this down, is that the crazy thing is, right? This is crazy. Right before this, the Lord was sending ravens to bring Elijah food. And he was by a brook or a creek of water. Now that creek eventually dried up because of the famine. And while this Elijah was staying there, you're like, well, why would you not just, keep sending the ravens? We may ask, God, why wouldn't you just keep sending the ravens to Elijah and keep the creek full of water? Because then he would have been able to stay where he was at comfortably and survive. But the reason being is the Lord had somewhere else for him to go. The Lord oftentimes moves in ways that don't make sense to us. It says that his ways are higher than our ways, right? So his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, just as the heaven is higher than the earth, right? And we don't always our own mind, our own understanding can't fathom what he's doing all the time. There are times where he's going to let us in, but there are times where things don't make sense. This woman was brought to a point where she probably was thinking, okay, this guy's asking me for food. Maybe he's going to provide something valuable. Maybe he's going to keep my family alive, right? And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing for her, but she's still preparing to die. But she sees this guy asking for food, and the crazy thing to me is that she doesn't say, no, I'm going to eat this food. She just says, okay. Something's got to happen, right? She's at that point of rock bottomless that her faith has exceeded the boundaries of where it could have been even a week ago. And so the Lord knew the exact time that Elijah was going to show up was going to be this time that this woman was out gathering sticks. And he knew that's where he needed to be was with this woman. And this woman invited her in, which is commonplace back in the day, is just to invite people in if they needed food or anything like that. And so, and I keep writing, and so even though the food never ran out, right? The food was always good. The food was always good for them. We still see in the scripture, in the set of scriptures there, that her son died. And we see that her son died, and she's thinking, what in the world? Why would my son die? Like, this man of God who we've been provided for has come through, and my son died. My son died, and even, is this because of my sin? Is this because of something I did wrong? Why would he provide just so that my son could die this way? Because at least the other way around, she was probably thinking, at least the other way around, myself and my son would be gone together, and I wouldn't have to live this life without him. The crazy thing is, too, here, and I know I keep saying that because this whole story is insane when you read through it. Elijah gets there and immediately sees the woman ask for water. He obviously does not know just yet what he needs to do until he learns of the situation of what's going on in their life. There are some people in your life that are going to learn of the situation going on. There's your Elijah coming, and he only knows what the Lord has told him, but he doesn't know the full situation. And he doesn't know that he's going to have to bring this boy back to life. And we see that he does that. So he prays, and the boy's brought back to life. And then after that, in verse 24, she says, "Now I see that you truly are a man of God." So it took all of that for her to admit that was God's doing, that this man was doing things from God's will. And I wrote down that even after all the Lord has done for you, you still struggle to admit that God has provided and blessed you. Even though you have in your time of even though you have in your time of greatest hopelessness, the Lord is about to bring to life your promise, and you'll admit finally that he was and has been there. Some of you are about to see the promise that you are starting to lose hope on. The promise that is been so hard for you to believe all this time, and you've believed. I'm sure this woman prayed, but it wasn't until Elijah had come and showed her who the Lord was. Because we don't get any backstory about who this woman was exactly. We don't know what her religion or belief system may have been. She may have lost faith in God, and then she sees the miracle of the food, and then her son falls ill, and then he is brought back to life, and that's when she can see everything that the Lord has done in her life up to this point. And some of you are at that point. You're at the point where you're out gathering sticks, trying to find a way to provide the things that the Lord has promised you. You're trying to figure out how you can do it on your own, and you don't even know that your Elijah is coming down the road, that your Elijah is getting ready to knock on your door, that your Elijah is getting ready to send you a direct message on Facebook, that your Elijah is getting ready to change your whole situation in a matter of days, in a matter of hours, in a matter of just a little bit of time for you. And the Lord just wanted me to hop on here and tell you guys that your Elijah is coming. Your Elijah is coming. You are about to see the things and the provisions and the blessings and the things that he has promised. And for those of you who, I'm speaking to a very specific subset of people, because obviously there are those of you who you are waiting for the promise, but you're not in a situation where you're worried about finances or you're worried about what you're going to eat, right? But there are some of you that are worried about what you're going to eat. You're worried about the finances. And the crazy thing is that you are getting ready to see the provision in a way that you weren't expecting it, right? I'm sure that this woman either heard from God, because he said that he prepared a widow for him. So she had either heard from God to let this man in, or she had been praying that someone would come by and help the situation, and she just expected that prayer to be answered. And I just want to say that it is through your expectation, that's the level that God's going to meet you at. Through your expectation. What do you expect God to do? Do you expect God to pay rent? Okay, he'll meet you there. Do you expect God to pay all your bills? He'll meet you there. Do you expect God to give to you abundantly? He'll meet you there. It's where your expectations lie. If he's told you a promise, don't Don't dumb that promise down just because you haven't seen it happen yet. Don't dumb that promise down just because you haven't seen it happen yet. And for myself as well, this is a heart check, because I naturally want to do that. I naturally want to just say, well, all I need is this, and this is all I want, right? But that's not true, because he's given you the desires of your heart, and that doesn't mean that he's giving them to you. He is, but also he's given them to you. Like, he's given you the desires in your heart so that they might follow after his own will and his own heart. And in this story, we see a woman and her son, and a lot of us are the woman and the son right now. We don't know how we're going to get the provision at all. We don't know how this is going to happen. We're scared. We're worried. We're going, all right, rent's coming up and we cannot pay it. Like, we need a miracle. And we don't know how it's going to happen, right? We don't know. We don't know when it's going to happen. But the Lord is telling you that he is going to reveal to you in this time what's going to happen for you. He's going to reveal to you, if he already hasn't. I mean, obviously, some of you probably already kind of have an idea, but he's going to do things that are unexpected and expected. He's going to meet your needs in expected and unexpected ways. And he wants to reveal to you and show you and let you see through his eyes this provision that's coming. And I'm going to tell you guys, those of you who are not able to pay your rent and pay your bills, you're going to be able to do that. Not through going out and getting, loans or begging for money, but through the financial provision that the Lord has promised you. You're going to see that by this month. I've seen so many videos talk about sorry, my phone storage was full again, but I've seen so many videos talk about the abundance of August, and you're going to see it, right? August has been, for a lot of you, especially in America, where the big COVID checks are gone, the big stimulus packages and all that kind of stuff, they're gone. And so a lot of you are not able to get a job in this time, not able to find one, or have been waiting, trying to see kind of what's going on. And you guys are going to see that financial provision that the Lord has promised you by the end of this month. And coincidentally, my birthday is actually at the end of this month. It's on the 31st. And I have been praying and asking the Lord, hey, I want to see the fullness of this promise. And he has been revealing to me that through this time that he's sending it, right? He's sending your Elijah, and he's sending someone that is going to change your entire world, because that person listened to the Lord. It's not going to be someone who you would expect, if that makes sense. It probably will be somebody you don't know, is what I'm trying to say. Someone who you don't know on a personal level. Don't expect friends or family, but just someone who you don't know, someone who you may have never met, but someone is coming. Your Elijah is coming to change your circumstances, so that those of you worried about bills and what to eat will no longer have to worry about that. Those of you who have been praying to the Lord earnestly and seeking after him will no longer have to worry about living in the place of discomfort where you have been for so long, because he's setting you free from that. So I just want to deliver this kind of encouraging word and just let you guys know that it is still coming, for those of you who haven't received it, and those of you who are really going through this testing period right now. And I want to thank you again for listening to this video. We really appreciate it. I'm going to try to get more on schedule with these uploads and just kind of make a daily schedule with them. And just kind of listen to the Lord and give you what he's got for me, and try to encourage you guys. And If you have any prayer requests, of course, there's always going to be an email in the bottom. We're going to continue to pray for everybody who emails us. If you have any questions, of course, you can send, you can email questions as well. And then as well with that, if you feel led to give, that'll be down there in the description as well. Again, you don't have to. Don't give because you feel sorry, but give because you love the Lord and the Lord has told you to give. But we really appreciate you guys watching this channel and listening to these videos. And we thank you for it, and we love you guys. Peace.